Jesus, guys. It's like it's the first time I've ever done this shit. So let me put this, where's a good place to put this? So I'll put it right here. I imagine you guys, some of you might want to see what I'm up to today. How does that work? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so I guess that's alright. Maybe I'll move it over here. That's probably not bad. Yeah, it's like it's my first fucking time doing this. Hey sports fans, what's going on? I'm putting together the second half of a display, which you guys saw me doing some pre-work on yesterday. And now, if you guys haven't seen the use of Cregg pockets before, they're a pretty cool way of kind of blindly doing joinery, which is what I'm working on right now. I'll show you in a minute up close what a Cregg pocket is. And allows me to do some kind of slick looking display type building that the joinery's kind of nice. So you get a little splinter and then you get your pocket knife. Youngsters, they don't get this, but this is what these knives are for. So I heard some new terms today. I heard a term for, and you guys are going to know what this is. What did he call them? I had a fella call me up. We spent some time talking on the phone. Really nice guy. You know, every now and then you run into folks that are kind of kindred spirits. It's kind of nice. I seem to find a lot of folks who are kindred spirits with me in this business. There's some name for these kids who are unintentionally celibate. They've got a name for it, and I heard it today for the first time. I almost fell out of my sneakers. It's such a great phrase. I'm sure one of you guys will know this who are kind of hip. I'm not very hip, so I don't know a lot of that stuff, but it's kind of a pejorative for this young crowd that's woke and unintentionally celibate because they're just kind of lame human beings. And we were kind of lamenting how odd it is that they're in the knife world, and I guess I shouldn't be like bagging on a potential client base, but frankly, I don't give a fuck. They're awful people, these unintentionally celibate types. Just not good human beings. They think they are, but they're like kind of narcissistic little folks, and they're wrong about so much. But man, they're positive that they're right, but they're just wrong. And they say, "Oh, who are you to say who's wrong, Greg?" Well, I'll tell you who I am. Been around long enough, and I'm sharper than the average bear. You know, that's the thing about doing stuff, is you get judged. And a lot of youngsters may not realize this, but you get judged on whether you're right or wrong. I know it didn't seem like that when they gave you your little trophy and said, "Good job for playing soccer this week," but most of life you get judged. And it doesn't matter if you like it or not. It's just kind of the way it is. So I get judged pretty hard. I don't judge others out of like retribution. I mean, but we all judge. We're constantly judging, right? I mean, who's not judging? These Cregg joints are so cool, you guys, because it makes a very, very strong joint without, they say glue is optional because the joint is as strong without the glue as it is with the glue. I'm old-fashioned, so I put the glue like it's insurance, you know, but I don't think I need it. But like I said, I'm a little old-fashioned. I'd rather over-engineer stuff. That's why I make knives the way I make knives, I suppose. But it makes these beautiful joints. For those of you who haven't seen it, I'll show you. It's pretty cool. I'll show you. This is my little Cregg setup that I made. So you put your board down in here and you clamp it down, and then you go down here with a drill, and it gives you this really cool pocket. I'll show you that as well. It's you know, if you're into making stuff and you like woodwork, this is really fun stuff. So it puts this cool pocket on the back of the wood that goes down in here at a tidy angle, and then the screw comes out and you set it for different depths. It's pretty nice. Hey Bo, hey Alex. So it allows me from behind this display. Now I'm going to screw this all together and then I'll stand it up for you guys to check it out. It's you know, I'm the only knife company doing ridiculous stuff like this, and it's probably because I'm a racist, or you know, I know there's guys out there like Nick Shabazz, you know, who works in the university system, and he's going to avoid Greg Medford. He doesn't want to give me a platform. He seems like a nice guy. I mean, I get a lot of people try to, you know, kind of play us a little bit against each other, and he seems like a nice enough guy. I mean, he seems like a kind of wordsmith. He's got a good vocabulary. I've talked to him on the phone, and I don't know if his accent's real or not. I can't quite tell, and don't care. But you know, he's an interesting guy. I think people really like him. I think he does a show, and he's got a following, and I know a lot of my guys that buy knives have seen his take on them, and I've never minded whether he liked my stuff or not. But since he's in the university system, he's pretty good with censorship. So apparently he decided not to review a knife, and you know, he sent my guy Jeff sent him a kind of like, hey, take your knife, and I'm sending it back, and I don't want anything to do with your company. Hey, what do you got? That's part of my day here. Hold on. What you got? What do you got? What do you got? Oh.
You're ugly?
Ugly as shit.
Okay.
Sorry, that's my technical feedback. Fortunately, Justin, he's a cowboy, and he doesn't like me to mince words, which I'm not really good at. But like my youngsters, I wouldn't say that unless I do it with my charming smile. Anyway, this poor fella, Nick, he thinks he's doing a good thing, silencing a voice, because I'm sure he doesn't agree with me. And I don't need anybody to agree with me. But I said my Stacking Bodies post the other day, and he said, yeah, I'm not reviewing your knife, I want nothing to do with your company. So, for all you young hipsters out there who are into totalitarian idea suppression, I suppose you should go support Nick and his channel, and I wish him the best. He's, you know, it's not like he's a benevolent You know, his audience he clearly values, as do I. Anyway, a little bit of unnecessary knife drama, quite frankly. I hate seeing, you know, it's funny, the guy reviews knife, I mean, like, I actually know pretty much all the knife makers out there, and I am not speaking out of school when I tell you I have only met a couple people in my years making knives who were politically divergent from me. And it's because our view of the world is very much about personal accountability and hard work. And it's not necessarily the same from the kind of left side of the spectrum. No judgment on them, it's just different. Anyway, you know, I had somebody say the other day, say, oh, I'm not going to carry your knives anymore. I'm only going to carry this guy's knives. And I'm like, oh my God. Well, if you ever go to that guy's house, be prepared. People are making these judgments, and you know they do it to like say, "Fuck you, Greg Medford." You know, and that's okay. I don't, you know, that's fine. Whatever. It's still in my part of the country free. But what's funny to me what's most funny, is they say they're gonna carry this guy's knife. Well, that guy's fucking 10 times more extreme than I am. He just doesn't say it. So it's okay. It's just ignorance is bliss, and the masses prefer ignorance. A lot of my customers don't. A lot of my customers are pretty thoughtful guys, and they don't want to be seen as ignorant. They don't want to be ignorant. But you know, a lot of people just like being ignorant. I've had a decent amount of guys from the African American community kind of reach out to me privately, and they're afraid of being outed also, which I find ironic and kind of sad. But they're like, hey man, I've been around real racists, and you know, they say they've been very, very nice to me in general. I haven't had a single, I got a lot of, Karens. Have you guys heard this term, Karens, for woke, middle-aged white women? I got a lot of Karen types, and I got a lot of soft males who just don't like me. And that's, fuck man, you know, like what's funny is soft males have never liked me, because I probably kind of represent everything that they're not. And the only thing they dislike more than that, you know, the only thing that gets their goat more than is being more well-read or having a better argument. I know I have a tendency to be polarizing because I don't mind kind of bad language. Hey, John Stoddard. I have bad language. I know that, and it's definitely one of my kind of idiosyncrasies as a man. I guess I could be more. I don't know. I guess I could be more. Hey, Gil. I guess I could be more judicious in my use of language, but honestly, I kind of like swearing, and I like saying words that kind of get in people's bonnet a little bit. You know, I think that it's funny when people get worked up about words, and you know, like words are important, but when you swear, it kind of jars people a little bit, and I kind of like that. I'm a little bit of a fly in the ointment, and I know that. I'm okay with it. If you haven't seen these Cregg joints before, they're so cool. I just started using them, and they've really given me some freedom to do some very cool joinery. If you like woodworking, I mean, if you don't like woodworking, maybe you just like a pretty display. I'll stand this up in a minute. You guys will get a kind of little preview of what it looks like. It's a pretty neat concept, which I got from my time doing, when I was in theater. Guys are like, Greg, you were in theater? I was like, yeah. Shakespeare, Albert Camus. I've been in a bunch of different plays. Edgar Allan Poe stuff. I did a lot of theater when I was younger, and I had a great time on stage. These Cregg joints, man, I could have used these when I didn't do set design. Probably should have gotten into stage design when I was younger. But professionally it's worked out okay for me. What a fucking surprise this has been. It's surprising though, a guy like, you think Nick Shabazz, you think, because he's on YouTube, you think he'd be like a little bit, you think he'd stand up for some free speech. But like so many other woke phonies, he doesn't want to do anything like reviewing one of my knives is going to be an endorsement of me. So I don't really care about him not reviewing the knife. I hate phony woke fuckers. And I think he's a phony woke fuck. He's come around and spied on me without introducing himself. Trying to watch me up close in person to see if he could catch my act, see if it was fake. He was testing me to see if I was phoning. What I learned a long time ago is you can't trust people who hide behind anonymity. If he works for a college and does knife reviews, then he should be concerned about people censoring his ass. And he should be concerned about censoring me. It's just unfortunate. You got a guy who's carved himself out a nice little niche in the knife community. And of course, my fan types don't have a lot of nice stuff to say about him, which is unfortunate. Doesn't need to be that way. And he doesn't need to, I don't need the guy to advocate for me, for God's sake. But don't censor me. That's not cool. So you guys want to see this, I'll stand it up and it's a 4x8 sheet of 3/4 maple plywood, so it's a little heavy. So this is the, let me see if you can see it. Let me adjust this a little bit. I'll turn this down a little bit here. So this is the piece. Now this goes up on a wall about 18 inches off the ground. And then each one of these is like a little stage. And this goes up against the wall. And there's LED lighting on the back side here, which I'll mount up on Friday so that a retailer can put two of these next to each other. And they can change the colors of the lights. And it just adds lovely presentation, to get to see to see a knife like with proper lighting around it, kind of framed in a little stage. It's kind of nice. You know, my knives, they're all my little friends. They bring so much joy to me. It's fun making stuff. It's the creation act. And for, you know, I'm not a big Christian guy, but the whole book of Genesis and creation is it's an ancient process that's part of the fabric of who we are as human beings. And guys that are craftsmen who make stuff, the creating is really, I don't know, I guess it's the sexy value of everything you do. You know, guys that are in construction or guys that build freeways, the creation act of making something, improving the world, making it better or more vibrant than it was before, it's a pretty powerful thing to be a part of. Anyway, this is a cool thing. So I've been sanding for a few hours. I finished 2 of these today. I'll do 2 more of them. We'll do the electrical work on them next week. We'll put the LED lights in on them. They get a metal crest up here on top, and they light up from behind. It's just got a sexy look. It's just sexy. And when you see this in the stores they're going in, this one here is going in Discount Guns up in Las Vegas, just off the strip. And then I'm making another one that's a little bit different. This one's got a glass front on it that lays flush up against it and locks, because they're up in Vegas and it's out in the kind of out amongst the natives. And then they want some security around it. And then the one going up to EDC Specialties in Sacramento area, Northern California, the guys up in at EDC Specialties, theirs, the shelves poke out from the stage a little bit, so the knives jut out into the room. Same kind of lighting, you know, just trying to do something sexy. And what I want for whoever decides to engage with our company, our brand, our knives, I want the minute they lay eyes on them, I want to try and take their breath away. I want, you know, if you're not into, you know, my worldview, that's okay. Because I'm not really pushing my worldview on anybody. Like, guys, I see guys rip on me day after day, month after month. They're tuned in to rip on me. I'm like, you know, you could just change the channel. But it's great fun to bring these beautiful knives to life, and it's great fun to show them off in a sexy way. And there's nothing like having one of my new customers or an old fan or a longtime customer or one of my family members walk into a store and they see just this wall of beautiful lighting and these beautiful products, and I work really hard and spend a lot of money, time, and effort to just have people get this sexy, like, man, that's different, try to take their breath away. You know, it's great fun. We're just moved to Sacramento and she digs your butt. Hey, thanks, Bo. So anyway, a lot of cool stuff going on here. A typical Thursday afternoon for me. You guys, we have a project that we launched yesterday for you guys that are knife collectors. And for you guys that are knife makers, your fucking face is gonna melt when you see what's coming. We have the coolest collector knife thing I've ever even come across, and you're gonna see them popping up all over the country and all around the world. It is the fucking coolest little idea. It's gonna be a bunch of engineering, a lot of back and forth with another company, and when these things come together, it's just going to be the ultimate parking garage for your fucking cutlery badassery. Fucking cutlery badassery. I don't even know if that's a word. So, remember, Black Knives Matter. Black Knives Matter. It's a movement like Alice's Restaurant Massacre. Alright, listen. I got a lot going on. I know I kick the hornet's nest sometimes. I feel like I get all the private messages from you guys. I get all the text messages. We have our sales have been fantastic. So a humble moment, because I'm usually fucking talking head here on our channel. A humble moment of gratitude And thank you to all of you guys. Those of you, I mean, there's a lot of haters who buy our knives too, and they tolerate me. Thank you for being tolerant. And there's a lot of people out there who love what I say, and they buy our stuff, and I appreciate it. There's a lot of guys who can't afford it, and they just offer their support, and I appreciate that also. So I adore the American experience. I adore the messy plurality of it all. It takes courage for all of you to expose who you are with your ideas and defend yourself. And for all you tender bunny rabbits out there, it takes courage to look outside the tiny bubble that you think you're master of. It takes courage to step outside your comfort zone and have your ideas pressed through the crucible of discourse and debate. When we stop debating, the hunt for truth is over. You know, I saw a propaganda video that a Russian KGB guy did after defecting the United States yesterday that one of you guys sent to me, and I watched it, and I've seen it before, and it's a compelling video about how Leonid Brezhnev and the KGB and the Soviets had put together this 4-step process for taking over a culture. And what first is to demoralize the culture. So you kill God, you detach morals from spirituality, and you start breaking a country apart. And then the next thing you do is it showed like these 4 stages of taking over a country, and we're maturely into the 3rd stage, which is create incipient crisis to cause revolution. And the nice thing about democracy is it's kind of a low-grade revolution. Every election, we get to battle it out. We get to battle out our ideas, and we don't storm the Bastille. We don't storm Versailles and drag the king out and chop his head off. We kind of get to kick the one guy out, and the next guy comes in, and about the time we're sick of him, he goes, and then the next one comes, and the pendulum swings back and forth. What I see going on right now, and I'll say it out loud. Hey, you want me to look? Come on. I got to do business too, so hold on one sec. I'm going to tell you Gregg's take on the world here in about 10 seconds. Better. I see the houses here, and I see teepees here. So definitely getting better.
Okay. What I'm running into, and I don't know why, is the bottom one, the top one, the first one I do.
Yeah.
It'll lay and it'll pinch.
That's because you're right-handed.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. But when I pull tight on the other one,
in the immortal words of Mahatma Gandhi, do with the left hand just like the right hand. Do the same. All right, so hey, just go over there and pause, work on something else. Okay. And when I wrap up here, I'll come over and do one more and let you watch. It's that whole pinch and stretch and pinch and pull. Pinch, 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 pinch. It's all about the pinching.
Yes, sir.
All right. Man, I was going to tell you guys something I totally forgot. I think it was the meaning of life. Somebody can remind me. Change the channel. These Twitch cunts that rag on you are just a part of doing business. The YouTube channel that I have. Oh, hey, Ken. Well, what I was going to say is, as I've done these videos, and I did a gentle race discussion last week, and a lot of people were all mad at me that I didn't attack my friends, Kevin and CJ, and you know, I wasn't there as the middle-aged white guy to fucking tell the black guys how it is. I was there mostly to just, I mean, I talked a lot because it's my show, but I wasn't telling the guys how it is. I was trying to move the conversation along and mostly just listen. I want to hear their perspective. And I think if you go back and watch that, you see a very interesting take that's very similar to mine. They may take umbrage to that, but it's pretty similar. Way more similarity than dissimilarity. But what I wanted to say is, what we see going on around the country right now are radical Marxists and militants, which are a very, very small part of the population. They are abusing and taking advantage of poor people within their group identity. So when your ideas are bad, what you do is you convince someone they're like you and you're like them. And most black people are not falling for that horse shit. And I think a vast majority of black people love to see change and equality and affect change and equality. Change and equality are good things. Just like all white people like change and equality. So I would say Americans like progress and equality. We've proven that for 250 years, more than any country ever. We like, Americans, we're the best country in the world at change and equality and evolving. But there's always a small disaffected group. There's always people in the margins. And I forget what this term was. Hey, dude, you got back on track. Hey, thanks, Ken. There's always these folks that are fringe players, and they've jumped onto this thing, and they think they've got a movement. And as we've seen, the president and the executive branch was smart to kind of hot potato and go, all right, well, listen, Seattle, the whole city's not burning. And, people are like, oh, there's violence and lawlessness. It wasn't like 50 people a night were getting killed there. There was some murder and mayhem, but big cities in America always have a little murder and mayhem going on. Anyways, I don't know if there was any more murder than normal. But what happened was you got to see Lord of the Flies, and everyone got to look at it, and everyone who's there probably has a taste in their mouth to not do that again. So what if the president had gone in last week with the National Guard and had shot a bunch of people, or there had been a Kent State-style massacre? We talk about separation and division. This was going on during the Vietnam War, folks, and it was way worse than this. National Guard troops were shooting kids on college campuses. That's not going on here. Talk about law enforcement being corrupt and awful. You know what they did? They followed the order of their leader and their civic leader, and they stepped back and said, okay, this is what you want. All right. Step back, and mayhem ensues. Then what you find out is you can't get a fucking pizza. You can't go to the bathroom. You and your girlfriend can't go out for a walk at night because it's fucking lawless. Because we've seen what a world without law enforcement looks like. See the comments made by Muhammad Ali Jr. Oh, we've seen what lawlessness looks like. It's the Old West. It's might makes right. It's a wild, wild west. Everybody carrying a gun, and whoever's the best shot gets to be in charge. I mean, that's not the culture I want to live in. I mean, I do okay in that world, but that's not the culture I want my family in, my wife and my daughter and my mom to live in. So what we see are the poor and the disaffected being played against everybody else. And I think it's a sad commentary. And I think the best thing that happened to these folks that are really militant Marxists is to see them abuse people and to see them abuse neighborhoods and to see them, you're in the Trump era, you got to speak up, you got to voice yourself, and you expose who you are, and they've exposed who they are. And I hope we don't see their, I'm sure at election year, next election, we'll see them again. But I heard the best line at a rally the other night. A young black woman said, she goes, leftists think conservatives don't think that all black lives matter. And she says, and they're wrong. We do think all black lives matter. We just don't have a time in our year or our cycle or our election where some black lives matter more than others. And that's clearly the case with this anarchist, Marxist, anti-American movement. It has nothing to do with helping black people. It has nothing to do with making our country better. It has nothing to do with equality. It is nihilist, Marxist, destructive, ignorant, ill-informed, and the more they do, the dumber they seem. Tearing down abolitionist statues, spray painting and defacing Abraham Lincoln statue. Guy fucking signed the Emancipation Proclamation. I just, they're dumb. They're just dumb. I don't know what else to say. Well, anyways, thanks for poking your head in. And I hope for some of you guys who step on, it's your chance after being in an insurance business or being in the healthcare business or being in some business where you're not allowed to speak your mind. I hope you get to pop on here and just hear a regular American guy kind of reflect and think and say, I am truly free to say, and I get fired by people all the time. There are little folks out there who fire me. Guys who don't like my opinions. They're set off and they think I'm a racist. I'm a little insensitive. Absolutely. I'm a little inappropriate. Absolutely. Every time I drop the cunt bomb, one of my family members I know is watching a video and they shrug, and I feel bad, but I don't want to censor myself. The other day I took down some videos and I just felt like a coward afterwards. So, we're going to have some trolls on here. You guys have got to police the woke folk. I call them hashtag phony woke. The phony woke folk. They're just ignorant. They're nonsensical. And the louder they scream, the duller their ideas are. So I look forward to chatting to you guys more. I look forward to all the emails. I get these long emails. Guys watch these videos and they get home, they talk to their wife, they have a scotch, they sit down, they start typing, and I get these long emails. I read them all the time. Amy and I sit around and read them. I love hearing guys, and I got a lot of guys fight with me, and if they just say I'm stupid, I go, hey, listen, give me an argument or I'm done wasting time with you. If they give me an argument, I'll go, hey, good point, keep watching. Next week I'll touch on that, or next video. So it's fun. I like interacting with all my countrymen. I like interacting even with you guys who don't like me. But if you just come nasty and you don't have any ideas, I'm just going to kind of block you and kick you off the site, because I just don't want to have you around. I want thoughtful people. Even if you don't like me and you just think I'm awful, if you're thoughtful, I'll be thoughtful back. The guys will be thoughtful. We'll all rub against each other. That's America. You know, it's okay. It's okay. I'm pretty comfy with that. Should be judged by the content of our character. All right. Have a great day, you guys.